My dad withheld my $3,000 car fund unless I cut my girly hair, so I let my aunt take me shopping instead. That was 7 months ago. He's been growing his out ever since and won't speak at family reunions without a hat. Me and my mom are tight, but my dad and I aren't that close. My dad is extremely old-fashioned, and I can't stand a lot of the crap that he says, but he's never pissed me off as bad as he has now. Anyway, with my 2 older siblings, my parents made a deal with them that if they saved half the money for their first cars, then my parents would match their savings and buy them a car. Both my siblings successfully got their first cars that way, and I had always looked forward to getting my first car when I turned 18. Anyway, my family had taken me out to eat for my birthday, and we were having a great time just talking and laughing until I brought up the topic of the car. I had saved almost $3,000 in the past 2 years from my part-time job, and I was pumped. My mom matched my excitement and said she was proud of me for working so hard. But my dad got weirdly silent, and when I turned to him and asked when we would go pick out my car, he said we needed to talk. For context, I have been growing out my hair for the past 2 years. It's very thick and goes past my shoulders. Girls at my school really like it, and I always get compliments. I take care of my long hair as well, and I always make sure it's washed and smells nice. My dad has said plenty of weird things about masculinity before, but until that day, I had zero idea he had any issues with my hair. My dad cleared his throat and said that I wasn't seeing a dime of my car money until I got rid of my girl hair. I laughed at first, thinking he was joking, but it turns out he was dead serious. I told him I loved my hair, and it took forever to grow, and it looked great on me. I told him we had a deal, and I had worked hard towards this goal, and he couldn't just back out over something like this. It seemed like it was the first my mom was hearing about it too, because she backed me up and told my dad my acting was controlling and ridiculous. My dad said the only thing that needed controlling was my feminine side, and if I was old enough to drive, I was old enough to look like a real man. He totally killed the mood of dinner. I just got sad and so shut down, and we all left. When we got home, I just went to my room and tried my best to hold in my tears. I had been so excited for my car, and he had just ripped it away like it was nothing. I considered cutting my hair, but I really didn't want to give to my a-hole father what he wanted. A couple of days went by, and the mood in our house was cold towards my father. Both my siblings and my mom were mad at him on my behalf, but he wasn't budging. He said we were all being dramatic and that someone in the family needed to teach me not to be a sissy. My mom also had a talk with me, where she apologized for my dad's behavior and said she would try her best to pay for half of the car. I told her I didn't want her to pay it all, and that I was hurt, but I didn't want to act entitled. Well, I guess the news of my dad's behavior had started to spread to extended family members, and a few days after my birthday dinner, my favorite aunt called me, and I had no idea how much that call would change my life. My Aunt Rachel was the coolest person in our family, and hearing her voice immediately made me feel a little better. She lived about 3 hours away and ran her own marketing company, but she always made time for her nieces and nephews. "Hey kiddo, I heard about what happened at dinner," she said, and I could hear the anger in her voice. "Your mom filled me in on everything. I cannot believe Mark is pulling this crap." I sat up on my bed, running my fingers through my hair. Yeah, it's been pretty awful. He won't even look at me unless it's to make some comment about my hair looking girly. "Listen, David, I need you to know something," Rachel said, and her tone got serious. "Your grandfather did the exact same thing to your dad when he was young. Made him cut his hair before he'd pay for his college textbooks. Your dad swore he'd never be like that, but here we are." This was news to me. Dad never talked about Grandpa much, and he died when I was really young. "Really? Dad had long hair?" "Oh yeah, down to his shoulders just like yours. He loved it, but Grandpa threatened to cut him off completely if he didn't get a buzz cut. Your dad caved, and I watched it eat at him for years." She paused, and I heard her take a deep breath. "But you know what? I'm not going to let history repeat itself. I'm coming to visit this weekend, and I'm bringing someone I want you all to meet. The